Welcome back to Closing Shift episode 36. This is your host speaking, Emmy, from Cosmic Emerald / Cosmic Emerald TV / Cosmics Emmy. And that is your other host over there across the room. Look over there, that's where she is. Mia, aka Rotting Coffee, aka Mia from Big Wow Big.
Hi.
We are doing another episode because that's how the show works.
That's just how it is on this bitch of an earth.
We are just doing it because we care about you. Why don't you care back? Why don't you guys just share our podcast more and give us more money?
We pour all of our love into this, so why don't you just fucking die?
I'm also having one of the loosest brain days I've had recording this show in a while. I was just telling Mia my brain, in my head, all I hear is that tube that goes zoom. And I know all of you know what I'm talking about. That's what my brain sounds like. It sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger choking on a donut or something. It's also this episode 36 on this lovely Friday, October 4th is, this might come out on Friday. No promises. It is my turn for the questioning, for the interrogation of Mia Flanagan from Rotting Coffee Incorporated.
Mia Reginald Flanders, as you set my Discord name to 2 years ago.
I don't remember doing that at all, but I'm certain it happened. I kind of vaguely remember that. Anyway, don't distract me from the point, suspect.
This isn't distractable.
I have a question for you. If you could use, you can pick up to 2 to 3 items from any game at all in combination. You can pick those 2 or 3 items to use in real life against any boss in any video game. You have to fight them in real life. You only get to bring 2 or 3 items. This is kind of a what would you bring to an island situation, but you're fighting a boss.
Okay, so a video game boss has been isekai'd into real life and I get to fucking pixels my way out of it.
Basically, but you have to choose your tools for combat. You could say I choose the wing cap and the Farah RPG and the Master Sword. I don't know. You can do literally just any 3 items from any game ever, and what items and also what boss would you want to face in real life? What boss do you think you could take on with your items?
The boss would probably be one from Dark Souls. If I'm thinking Dark Souls or Elden Ring.
Duh.
If I'm thinking something that would be
Didn't see that coming.
if we're talking in a realistic sense where we're sort of fictionalizing here, and I'm not just going to be instantly killed by a single attack of whatever, because video game rules.
No, you have a chance.
Yeah. It's stuff that would actually be kind of neat to fight in real life. It might be kind of fun.
My boss I choose is PewDiePie from Legend of the Brofist. He's not even a boss in that game, I don't think, but you know what I mean. Anyway, sorry.
In terms of a sheer spectacle kind of thing, as much as he's not really a great boss to fight in Elden Ring, it would be kind of fun to fight the fire giant, maybe. Or something else from Elden Ring would be kind of neat. I kind of have a strong respect for Eudex Gundyr, but I don't know how much I'd want to fight him in real life. But just for the fun sake of it, let's say Eudex Gundyr is gonna be the boss.
Hanging out with Eudex Gundyr when socially, but when it's just us, it's I don't really.
Yeah, let's say Eudex Gundyr is going to be the boss, and by 3 items...
I have no idea what that boss is.
That's the heightened form of the tutorial boss of Dark Souls 3.
Man, we played through that game together, and...
Actually, you know what? Eudex is the tutorial boss. I mean Champion Gundyr. Eudex is the really easy tutorial version that turns into a sludge monster.
Champion is the one you would choose, or you're just thinking of a different one?
I would say Champion, because I got the names mixed up. Eudex is the one you fight in the tutorial. Champion Gundyr.
Eudex is what you use to learn more about Pokemon. This is where my brain's at today. I apologize in advance. I know it's only 5 minutes in, and I'm just cracking mid-jokes.
So yeah, Champion Gundyr. And I think items that... Yeah, if it's going to be he's just kind of a normal guy, except for he's really big and has a really big spear, and he does really cool kicks. So I feel like I could defeat him pretty confidently. I'm just going to have fun with the items that I choose. Number 1 would be Samus's gun from Metroid Prime. because that has like 4 different things in one that activates for that, and it's controlled with like different, like it's kind of a fun thing with Metroid Prime that she controls what is shot from the gun by changing her hand shape is like the control for it. That's what all the symbols are. I just feel like that'd be like a neat thing. That's item 1.
Nice.
Item number 2, let's say, I mean, if I wanted to completely trivialize everything, I'd just say Fierce Deity Mask from Majora's Mask, because then you just turn into a god. But I feel like that would kind of spoil a bit of the fun of it. You know what?
Yeah, it's up to you how you want to get this done.
You know what? Just for the safety pick, I'll take Estus Flasks with me as well. Go full Dark Souls. So that way then, like, if I get hit in the fight, I'm not just gonna, like, real life fucking bleed out and die. I got magic healing.
And my third weapon is Yoshi. Yoshi will eat the boss. He can go. Ow.
Third weapon, I feel like I may want to go with, like, they would suck to wield because of the curse that comes with them, but it would be kind of fun to use the Blades of Chaos from God of War, because that's just fucking spin to win.
Oh, yeah.
So those are my 3 choices. Samus's Blaster from Metroid Prime, Estus Flasks, and the Blades of Chaos.
You wouldn't bring Shadow's skatey shoes, though?
That would be cool.
Think about how fast you can get around.
I was considering throwing into this list just for the added shitpost, the hover boots from Ocarina of Time, but that I don't feel like that would make things much better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't even think of 3 items I would bring to a fight. It's like, looks like you brought a Master Sword to a BFG fight. Like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're just asking for, like, you know, like, indulging in nerd fantasy, which is not something that I do much. I'm not like, oh, dude, it'd be so fucking sick if I had these fucking items that I could do fucking, yeah, dude.
I mean, like, when I thought of this question to open the show, I was like, well, I'm going to ask the boss. It's going to be Elden Ring, so...
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I just love.
I was like, it's gonna
bosses.
be an Elden Ring boss. There's no fucking way. I just know your taste.
Yeah, I mean,
I know your taste in men.
It's. I do have my taste.
I prefer
in men.
me a champion.
My taste in men is Henri of Astora.
I saw Henri at the store yesterday.
Boo!
I told you it's gonna be bad. Okay, I'll just go fucking. Guys, you have no idea. I honestly genuinely want to like apologize on my part for like I'm so brain rotted right now. I had therapy literally like 3 hours ago, and I'm like I've just been like super mentally and emotionally exhausted. I'm also, as of the airing of this episode, I'm over 3 weeks on HRT, and that has also given me the mental and emotional complex of a 13-year-old girl.
Bringing your womanly emotions into the show.
I'm feeling a lot more, so it's making me exhausted a lot more from it, because I already got pretty emotionally worn out pretty easily, but now I'm feeling so much more, so I'm getting worn out faster, which is fine, because, you know, eventually having gigantic babambas will be worth it. I like to call them my Deku scrubs. I don't like to call them that, although I will say, having seen like minor changes here and there, like emotionally, mentally, and physically, has been very exciting. It's been very cool. I did not expect to see changes this quickly, but it's been very affirming, and I feel very happy now.
Nice.
I feel a lot better. I've felt better, honestly, from the second I took it. And you have been a great friend to help me, this show and you being here has been a great outlet for expressing my enthusiasm about it.
Yeah, pop off, queen.
Thank you. I will pop the top off that pill bottle.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about HRT, is that they think it's just about like the external changes of, you know, like the developing of breasts and having softer skin, stuff like that, like those more feminine outward features. But a lot of people don't understand.
HRT is gonna suck your dick back in.
What a lot of people don't understand about HRT is that there is like on the mental chemistry level of like what that does for you, even if it had no outside external effect. Like one of the ways that dysphoria works is through like a form of chemical imbalance, where your brain, like one of the things that like causes this kind of dysphoria in the first place is that your brain is like, hey, I'm requesting these hormones and these chemicals so that way I can build things in the correct way. You know, I'm calling for bricks on this blueprint, and I'm not seeing any bricks in my resource pile. So that's one of those things about HRT that's really helpful, is that like you're actually like your brain is calling for resources, and you can actually give them to your brain. Because when your brain is running normally and it's like, hey, I need these resources that I'm not getting, it just decides to shut down a lot more often, and it feels like shit because the blueprint it has in its head is not the same thing as what it actually has the resources and materials to do.
Right. As opposed to what the former 45th president of the United States, Chester the Cheetah, might try to tell you about HRT. It's called gender affirming care, on the other hand, for a reason. It's not just affirming, it's like curing. Like it's incredibly helpful. Like I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating when I say, like, from the second I took it for the first time, I immediately started feeling better. I've been able to just, like, be a girl around the girls more and, like, wear cute clothes to, like, things in public or when people come over to my house. Like last week I was talking about the birthday party we had. I didn't really talk about this part of it, but, like, I wore a super cute outfit and I, like, felt like picking it out and I felt like matching my makeup to it. And it was really fun. And all the girls at the thing were like, "You look super cute." And I was like, "Thanks, you too, girl."
Nice.
I love women. They're all so great. I wish that, like, every person who was born as male was just trans and then we stopped having kids. We just had women only for a while.
There's that Kyle Gordon song that he put out quite a while ago. One of his comedy songs. It was like, "Girls are the best in the world. Every good person is a girl."
That makes me think of that comedy song. I don't know who it's by or where it came from, but there's a comedy song that's like, "Entertainers like to seem complicated."
Oh, that's Bo Burnham.
Oh, is that Bo Burnham?
Yes, that is the song "Comedy is Dead." No, "Art is Dead."
He wasn't tagged on the audio on TikTok. I saw it. It was sped up as well.
That's one of his most famous songs.
It's very funny. Have you ever been to a birthday party for children and one of the children won't stop screaming? I also will say, while we're early enough into the podcast, you can click the link in the description to listen to the playlist we're listening to today. Lo-Fi Kofi. I'm so stupid. Lo-Fi Kofi Kingston shop. It's called Lo-Fi Coffee Shop, Lo-Fi Cafe Morning by Lo-Fi Coffee. Shocker. So you can listen along with us if you want. Also, our video version is back, which was obviously the title of the last episode. I also was editing the show and I noticed that we didn't say anything about the playlist we were listening to. I'm sure we were listening to one, but I don't know which one it was. So
I think it was like the same one that we were listening to before. So nothing needed to be changed between it.
Yeah, I left out a link. I think one of the links in the description on Spotify also is fucked up. I think our Linktree link, but
yeah, there was like a weird thing.
I added it how it's supposed to be added. It just got put in weird, but I don't know, whatever. I just did something wrong, I guess. But uploading it to on a behind the scenes thing, just telling you, uploading the video version to Spotify and the video version to YouTube actually worked out perfectly. It worked out exactly how I thought it would.
Oh yeah, so the non-video version did also upload to YouTube.
Yes, I know. I put the video version playlist back on top of our YouTube page, and then just kept the audio version below in case people just want to listen to the audio for some reason.
I don't know if YouTube has, like, maybe they sometimes, like, I guess maybe if it fits under podcasts, it might show up on something like YouTube Music, or like sometimes like there's a special categorization for podcast. Yeah, like on regular YouTube, they have a podcast section, but on YouTube Music, they also do. And the reason it uploaded the audio format is because I uploaded the video version went to Spotify. When it does that, it sends an audio version of it out to every other platform. So, like, the video version doesn't transfer to, like, any other platform because it's Spotify specific, which is why I went separately to upload the video version to YouTube. And I would have added the audio version of every episode to that playlist just so they were all there. But you can't do that because the RSS feed is coming in specifically from there. Like, I'd have to... I don't know if it would take away all the uploads to delete the RSS feed kind of thing, so that we could just upload them individually there. But if it did, then we'd have to re-upload every single audio version of every episode from, like, episode 3 to 34, to which I'm certain we don't have most of those episodes files left. Maybe you do, because you edited most of them. But I have all the ones that I edited.
Well, then that would be probably almost all of those. I know that the only one I can remember, I think I edited one fully, and then another one I know I edited most of, and then I sent it to you and told you where I left off.
I have all except for 1 and 14, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was it. 14 was the one I edited. I remember that. I don't know about 1. I might have 1 on my computer, but yeah, anyway, we should talk about entertaining stuff, or at least real stuff, and, you know, instead of just talking about our show on our show only.
I guess I could talk about past week. Reason why you had to edit this past week's episode at all is because I was sick in the worst way possible. Except not the worst way possible. That's an exaggeration. But in a way that really sucks. And I'm still
I
like
was sick because I got hit by a car. Yeah, what was going on though?
I'm just now like getting over it, but it started on the day, well, I guess it like on the day that we were recording, like I was talking about it in the last episode.
Yeah, it started around there because I remember
it actually started a bit on the like I talked about how I felt shitty on the days before that, and I felt really shitty that morning that we recorded that. And then the day after, I felt really, really shit. It was after I had to take my grandma to an appointment, and I had like, just as I was like leaving her house going back home, that's when it really hit. That's like, this is like, nothing is right. You need to go fucking rest and lay down as soon as possible. Because the way that I've been sick hasn't been in any external form where it's like, you know, coughing and sniveling and all that. The way that I have been sick, and it's the reason why like I still have to like I have to take big breaths and I can't talk too enthusiastically. The way that I've been sick is that it is like this feeling of like you took a big fucking hit and never let it go. Like that's how my lungs have felt for like the past week.
That sucks.
That if I like, if I talk a bit too much, like it's that.
You know what that feels like?
Yeah, there's that like sensitivity in my lungs that if I
am a former smoker.
Yeah, if I do a bit too much, then it gets that like it feels like there's, you know, shit built up in my lungs that I have to then like sometimes like a little cough every now and then can assist it, but it's like that's the really shitty thing is that it's not like any external symptom and there's no like anything else about it. It's just that my lungs felt like absolute shit and like I was having difficulty with like I couldn't like stream or do anything that's voice related because then that puts my lungs under stress. And that just accelerates any issue of breathing from that. So that was the fun week that I had, was just having to keep as much pressure off of my lungs as possible.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry you're going through that. I wish I could kiss the pain out of your chest and throat, but you know, here we are. Maybe on Wednesday. Also, fun fact, by the time you guys are hearing this podcast, Mia is with me in person.
Yeah.
On this Friday, but not for us. We're recording this before Mia gets here.
I will have been there for 2 full days.
Yes, almost 2 full days because
I'm coming in on Wednesday.
It'll be like 5 hours apart between this episode going up and you being
I'm
here.
coming in on Wednesday evening or towards the night of Wednesday. Yes. And so then it'll be Thursday and then on the Friday that'll be
coming in on Delta Airlines flight number. No, I'm kidding. If you want that info, subscribe to our Patreon. Just kidding, we don't have a Patreon.
Gonna get stream sniped on my flight.
Like, just like when they went to Skypiea in One Piece, just like somebody camping on a skyboat with a sniper. Anyway, I am now confidently proud in saying that my timeline is actually like unironically like I don't know how else to describe it other than like 95% Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry for saying like so much, but you know, deal with it. But my timeline on Twitter has become severely, like, dramatically Rhea Ripley. It's great. Holy shit. This past week on September 30th, I just saw this randomly. The rumor come out, does Bruno Mars' gay turn 10?
Wow.
That article's 10 years old as of today of recording this and this past Sunday for you guys. God damn, that's crazy.
You know what's crazy is that that's 10 years of that article. And I'm just now, I'm going through Ocarina of Time still. That's been one of the things that was passing time while being sick, was just doing a non-rando, just playing through Ocarina of Time. Does Bruno
Mars is gay?
Yeah. But the first time I heard about Does Bruno Mars is gay, that was during the Game Grumps Ocarina of Time playthrough.
Yes, same. I thought it was the funniest fucking... I memorized the whole article after a few times of watching it. The rumor come out, Does Bruno Mars is gay? I actually was watching recently a compilation of Game Grumps moments where they reacted to shitty translations from Japanese dating sims or visual novels or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Today is football.
And there was one where Dan just tried to read it, and it was so broken. He was like, does Bruno Mars is gay? After, because it was so funny. Also, I need to put this tweet on the screen. Let me find a way. I need to start marking down these time codes. Hold on, give me a second, please. Vince Uso is now in your pussy.
Oh, you know what I'm
just me,
about?
Oos. 3 inch. It's just me, Oos. What were you just thinking about?
Thinking about the American South institution of Waffle House. I don't really know if we have those out here.
You don't have Waffle House out there?
I feel like we might have some Waffle Houses, but it's definitely not like a thing out here. I've only been to a Waffle House one time, and it was at a Waffle House right next to Kings Island, because my family was going to, actually, no, my family was going to Great Wolf Lodge, and we had breakfast one day at Waffle House before leaving, and we could see Kings Island from the Waffle House, and we're like, we're not going there. We're going home. It's like, oh, we're here, but we're not going to Kings Island? We're right here.
No!
No!
Do I look like the Kings Island professor? I fucked up that C, but I know what it says. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. Tried to write down the word time codes, and I wrote down time oods.
Time moose.
It's my time ooze. Also, congrats to Jey Uso. I think we recorded the last episode the day before the Raw where it happened, but congrats to Jey Uso on winning the fucking Intercontinental Championship.
Hell yeah.
Bro found that dog in him.
He did.
His first singles title. That was magical. That pop was beautiful. I'm so happy for him. I watched it happen the next day at work. I was watching Raw to catch up, to which, managers tune out now. But I will sometimes put it in earbud and tune into SmackDown or Raw while I'm at work. Raw retroactively, because I work Tuesdays through Fridays. So Fridays, and I work the closing shift because it's just better.
And Fridays are always better than Sundays, because Sundays are suicide days. Sorry to 21 Pilots.
You got me suicidal. Fucking losing track. Oh yeah, so I just I'll pop in an earbud and tune in. And this was one of the first times I've watched Raw retroactively while I was at work, and it was just fucking great. Another banger episode of Raw. But I had heard on social media before that Jey Uso had won, and I hadn't seen any clips from it. So I skipped ahead in YouTube TV to the time where the match started, and it was magic. I watched the whole thing on my break. I sat with my friend who's also a wrestling friend that I work with. Wrestling fan, sorry. He's also a friend of wrestling. My name is Dan Wrestling. And anyway, speaking of wrestling, yeah, so congrats to Jey Uso. I was gonna send you this tweet, and I needed to put it up I got this notebook so I could write down this time code, but I needed to send you this tweet. Drew McIntyre posted, WWE posted on Twitter, check out this vlog with CM Punk's dog coming backstage on Raw and stuff. And Drew McIntyre posted this GIF of I think that's Jack Black grabbing a dog and kicking it off a bridge. That's crazy.
That's awesome. You know what he should have done is there's what is it? Is it from an Arnold movie or is it Hogan? It's somebody that they're driving down, riding down the street on the motorcycle in the background is somebody just captured accidentally on film, somebody throwing a dog in a river.
That's Hulk Hogan. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That might be a bit too real though for McIntyre to share.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna put the tweet, including the video, on the screen. So there you go. But holy shit, that was so funny. I just saw that while I was scrolling. I was like, what is this video? And then I saw it was Drew quote retweeting. I was like, oh my god. Because earlier today, wholesomely, I was like, oh, they made a vlog with his dog. That's so cute. And Drew took it and kicked it off a bridge.
Yeah.
Drew is so brutal. Oh my god. I like how dramatic their build up to this Hell in a Cell match is, because we get to see this trilogy's finale with two of the most legendary wrestlers ever going at it in Hell in a Cell. We're gonna see that in person. We're gonna be there.
Gonna be some good
We're gonna see their bodies slamming in person.
We have all the have there been any more confirmed matches for Bad Blood?
Oh, they're pretty much all confirmed. Let me look at it. Clicky on my clicky keyboard.
Chia.
Match card. Not match card predictions, you stupid fuck. I just want to know the matches. The official match lineup. The official. Yeah, okay, so Hell in a Cell match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I don't know what order these matches are happening in, so I'm just going to read them. These are not in order of the, schedule of the show. I don't know what the order is on that. Women's World Championship match, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. I am, 95% convinced that Rhea is going to win, which is awesome. I hope that Jay comes out and they celebrate with some yeets.
Yes.
It's going to be fun because we're going to get a bit more exclusive stuff, because we're going to be there.
That would be the perfect place for them to do the Waffle House date in Georgia.
Oh my god. Rhea Ripley posted a video of her pulling up to a Waffle House on her Insta story recently.
Oh my god.
It definitely was not in Georgia, but oh my god. Yeah, it would be. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo and Jacob Fatu. That's right. Speaking of Jacob Fatu, him no-selling Randy Orton's table throw was really funny.
Not just no selling it, no selling 3 times in a row and then getting bitched on the 4th.
Yeah, it was great. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Also excited about that. 2 extremely talented wrestlers. I hope Damian Priest chokeslams that bitch through the ring. I could have sworn there was more confirmed than just that. That was posted 10 days ago, so there might have been more confirmed.
I love how fun it is with these matchups that there are absolutely some, there's like villains and heroes in these stories, and then there's just drama between people. And so it's like, for some of these, it's pretty easy to pick sides, and others are just like, no matter which way you fare or like prefer on any of these matchups, it is still like absolutely golden. Like every single one of these matchups are people that you want to see wrestle. These are all like title cards that you want to see.
Fucking, it's like turn off your ad blocker. I don't know how even. I'm not gonna. Fuck you. I don't know how to do it on Opera. And don't tell me, because that's not why I care. Yes, it's actually really funny to me that everywhere except for the US and Canada, WWE Network still exists because there's nowhere else to put their shit in other countries.
Oh yeah.
Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Oh yeah, Nia Jax versus Bayley for the women's championship as well. That's also happening. I also hope Bayley takes it back from that fucking hag.
Wretched cunt.
Oh, apparently Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are hosting.
No shit.
That's cool. Love that. It says this is the Sportster. That's a hard website title to say. .com, and it says here I'll screenshot this actually and put it on the screen. But it says, WWE Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will host Bad Blood. Betrayal incoming, maybe? Man, people really want them to break up.
Speaking of sports, if you're talking about Sportster, I went to a sport game yesterday because I was feeling healthy enough to go to a sports game. I got woken up at 9 in the morning with my father calling me and asking, hey, you want to go to a baseball game today? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I saw just yesterday, as of recording this, Diamondbacks versus Padres. And I think the last time that I saw the Diamondbacks play would have been against the Astros many years ago. I can't tell you exactly how many years ago, but it's been a few. And this was a phenomenal game. This was a, like, if you are going to, like, if somebody was going to go to their first baseball game, this would be the one that you would want to take them to. Because, one, it was relatively short, because there were some like really quick innings, and
which
2,
is nice in baseball.
Yes, you do not want more baseball. 2, it was a really exciting game at a lot of parts because the Padres quite literally were throwing for a majority of the game. Where
the fathers, if you will.
Yeah, so they, they had their first pitcher out, Perez, who just, in a single inning, gave us 6 runs. And one of those runs was Ketel Marte hitting a home run that went directly over my head. It was very cool to see that, like, after it being, like, I think that was in 4th inning, and it would have been the bottom of the 4th, because that's when they switched out to the next pitcher on the Padres side, because Perez was throwing. So bottom of the 4th, it was, a little bit stressful because the Padres had already scored 1 run. It seemed that they were sort of favored at that point. And then we get a couple sneaky runs. And then Ketel Marte, MVP, just fucking slams one. And it just, like, they just got new, like, arena lights for Chase Field. So when that happens and there's a home run, they do, like, this whole thing with, like, the lights and everything. It's a whole, like, visual production at that point. So that was, like, really, really fun, really exciting. Just, like, watching that fly over me and everything going crazy. It was a good, fun game. I quite liked it.
That's cool.
We won 11-2.
What was the name of the other team?
Padres.
Fuck the Padres.
Fuck the Padres.
Suck my Padre.
They this is a good sign of how the game went. Fuck yourself,
Padres. Hey, Padre fans, we hate you. Closing Shift hates Padre fans. I'm kidding.
We had so many. I think we had like either 9 or 10 strikeouts. So, like, we had, like, 1 pitcher up until the 9th inning where we switched out at the last second just because the 1 pitcher that we were having for the 8 other innings was just like, I've been playing the whole game, and I haven't even done that much, but I'm tired.
My arm's tired.
But for the Padres, they had to use 3 pitchers in that game because Perez was throwing, so they switched into Waldron. And then Waldron had to throw 93 consecutive pitches. And then at the very end, they were like, okay, we have literally exhausted this poor man. His arm is going to break if we make him do any more. So they had to switch in Matsui. And he was doing okay, but it was just like way too far past for him to make any difference at that point, and we won 11-2. It was a good time.
Oh, man.
Baseball is exceptionally boring, except for when it's not.
Yes. It's like, in my opinion, soccer and baseball are two of the most boring sports, but in two completely different ways.
Oh, yeah.
I also think basketball is pretty boring, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
But I'm not a huge sports person. A lot of basketball to me is just like them running back and forth and doing the same thing for like 80 to 90 baskets and then being like, whoa, they shot at the last second and got 2 points and won the entire game. That's crazy.
They ran this way and then they ran that way and then they missed and ran this way.
I don't care. Not super fun. I actually have a basketball story I could tell real quick, but if you were going to say something, you could say it first.
I was just going to say that baseball got a lot more interesting after they added the pitch timer. They made it so there can't be more than 2 minutes between innings unless there's a special occasion. And they added a 30-second pitch timer that if the pitcher does not, it's like first pitch I think has to be within 30 seconds. And then after that, as long as a ball is in play, then the timer doesn't reset. But after the ball is out of play, then they have about like 16 seconds or so to make their next pitch. So it speeds up the game dramatically, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable of a time.
Is that like an MLB thing or like a...
That's an MLB thing that, like, officially they have this... You cannot, like... It used to be that, like, a pitcher would take, like, 3 fucking minutes to throw a ball, and then they'd still have to throw 8 more balls for the same batter, you know? If let's say in a perfect ideal situation, they are
sitting there playing with your balls. Use them.
Let's say in a perfect ideal situation, the pitcher is striking out the batter in 3 balls minimum. That means that it would still take like 8 minutes for one batter, and it would take forever. And that's how America became baseball became America's pastime, because it literally passes time.
Just thinking about baseball made me annoyed. And tired.
You got a big thing going on in baseball there that if I don't think the game is going to be happening while I'm there, but there's a big drama happening between the Diamondbacks and the Brewers and one other team that I don't remember at this moment. But to move on to the next bracket, these 3 teams are just completely locked in this horrible situation where each one is relying on a very specific win condition from the other teams to move forward, and the Brewers are a part of that.
Are the Brewers Georgia team?
I believe an Atlanta team is a part of this.
Then that's the Braves.
That's the other thing. It's Brewers, Braves, Diamondbacks. That's it. No, okay. Mets, Braves, D-backs. Fuck. The Brewers thing was a whole other thing with the Mets the other day.
Baseball fans are gonna hate us.
I know. I'm not.
Stop it.
I'm not very well informed, but it's Mets, Braves, and D-backs. So the Braves, there's a huge like tiebreaker thing going on there.
It's okay. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Nobody does.
Hold on. I was gonna look up what year the Braves won. They won the World Series in like 2021. That's right. I remember it well because they put literally like digital, those digital signs that say like move to the next lane or whatever. They put one of those up in my hometown because I still lived in my hometown at the time. They put one up and it said, "Congratulations, Braves," something, something. And I saw it and I was like, oh, cool, the Braves won. Because my dad's a Braves fan, so.
It's good to know that he's a Braves fan, because if I do end up meeting your father while I'm there in Georgia, I could talk a little bit of baseball with him.
Yeah, what you said.
Even though I did just get the Braves mixed up with the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'll never live it down.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Oh, boy.
You got anything more you want to say before I do my segment?
I was going to tell a quick story I actually will tell 2 quick stories.
Go for it.
And then we can do your segment. I was going to say, for one thing, I had a basketball story that when I worked at a law firm in 2018, my boss, who was my uncle, had gotten tickets to a Atlanta Hawks game.
Your bunkle.
You could say that. He had gotten tickets to a Atlanta Hawks game he didn't want to go to in the State Farm Arena, and because that's like where Hawks stuff happens. And I don't know why he didn't want to go, but he just was like, does anybody want these tickets? I was like, oh, I'll go. It's like a sports thing, whatever. I don't go to Atlanta that much, like to the city. And so I invited my friend to go with me, and he said yes. And then I broke up with me and my partner at the time broke up, and I was really sad. And then we went to the game, and we left halfway through because it was just boring and depressing that I was there. I just tried to use it to cope because we got really good seats, but it was boring. And I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of depressed. Do you want to just go and like do something else? We probably could have walked around Target for 3 hours and had more fun. But yeah, so that happened in like 2018. And yeah, that sucked. That breakup was not fun. Not one of my more rewarding ones. some of them I was like dodging a bullet, so it was better. I also, real quick, last thing, before your segment, I wanted to send. I've literally had it like ready to send in this message card for like fucking like 5 or 6 minutes. But one condition they added to the Rhea and Liv Morgan match is that Dominic will be held in a shark cage above the ring, yeah. And they added a graphic for it, and it's very funny.
He's in the cuck cage.
He's in gay baby jail. It's so funny.
Just locking him in a shark cage with like with his PSP and a plate of tendies.
True. He also, when they announced it on Raw, like Rhea came out to tell them that was happening, and Dom was like, I can't go back. No, I can't go back. Because he went to prison for like a couple of hours. I think he came to WrestleMania in like a prison van or some shit. It was like a whole bit. Because he was like, I'm from the yard now because I've been to prison for 20 minutes or some shit. I don't remember why he went there. I don't know why he would have gone there for wrestling storyline purposes, but he did. But people have been arrested in kayfabe before. The Miz and R-Truth got kayfabe arrested in 2011.
I wonder if they ever were, if they'd ever do anything like that for that one time that LA Knight committed Grand Theft Auto against Logan Paul.
That was pretty funny.
Pretty great.
Where he stole the Prime truck, and then he pulled up to like the next SmackDown in it.
He beat the shit out of the windows.
True.
Good times.
All right, well, anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our historical section. This is a section where I am going to read some articles and
Simpsons.
I'm going to read some articles and advertisements from a archived newspaper in the Library of Congress, and it is going to be Emmy's job to pick from a multiple choice of when this paper was published.
You're darn tootin', it is.
I have our first article here. Goiter cases in state are on the decrease. According to the Detroit Board of Health, a study of 30,000 school children in Michigan reveals that the incidence of goiter in these children after iodine was introduced into salt, which was freely used by the families, shows that a marked decrease in the number of cases of thyroid enlargement was shown in all places. Detroit children show the same degree of response to the use of iodized salt, with about 1/3 as many children showing thyroid enlargement. The Detroit Department of Health recommends the use of iodized salt in all families in which there are young children. The salt manufacturers in Michigan made iodized salt available upon the request of public health authorities, and its continued use has shown results far greater than were ever anticipated. So if you've ever wondered when you like buy a whole like thing of like Morton, like, you know, your table salt that you like use to fill up your shakers, and it says iodized salt, you wonder, hey, what does that mean, iodized? It means it has iodine, and that's there for health purposes, which is this. Iodine. It's there for health purposes, which is demonstrated here that it you know, you don't grow a goiter if you have iodized salt. Very similar to how
goiter? I don't know what a goiter is.
A goiter is where your thyroid, which is the hormone producer in your throat, that becomes enlarged, and it kind of turns into like a bit of a turkey, like, you know, like one of those kind of things. It turns into like a dangly kind of enlarged bit.
So your throat like swells.
A good example of this is George Lucas. He has like his throat is a good example of like what a goiter is. That kind of like, you know, like Master Oogway kind of like throat. Here, let me send you this picture of George Lucas, and you can use it for example.
I feel really self-conscious that I don't know. Oh God.
Yeah, so that's what like stuff like iodized salt is like. Of course, this is a very natural thing. A lot of people have
pack a whole carry-on in there. Jesus Christ.
A lot of people, especially as you get older, or if you have a family history of it, of thyroid-related issues, it's a very common thing to happen. To have that sort of physical characteristic of your throat. There's no like, you know, this is like no intention of like shaming, whatever, but that's just what that does. That's just a symptom of thyroid growth. So do you have any immediate guesses on when this was published, when they began putting iodized salt into the home?
So
very similar to how we enrich flour with iron for better nutrition.
Okay, well, these things are things I don't know about. I wish your genuinely like smart clues help me out, but I'm not genuinely smart. And I would say correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say correct me when I'm wrong. Is this article I'm trying to spark notes this article so I can like process it. It's about like putting iodine in the salt because it's better.
Yes. It's one of those things that, the same way that we enrich flour for bread to be better nutrition from our basic food sources. This is the purpose of they tested putting iodized salt into households and how that would affect the health of the family members, and found that in households that used iodized salt as opposed to non-iodized salt, they found a much greater reduction in thyroid growth.
My immediate range is somewhere between the 60s and the 90s. I think it would be before the 90s, but generally I'm thinking like 60s or 50s up to the 90s. I don't think this is. I'm pretty sure this is. Like
I'd urge you to shift your scale back a little bit, because a lot of American industry and nutrition stuff, like the food pyramid, when we really started to think about nutrition, that started around like sort of a bit pre-World War II, and then became a larger thing towards like, the food pyramid became a much larger thing in like the 70s and 80s. So like the first shifts towards public nutrition as like a thing that people were conscious of what's in their food, that sort of started between World War I and II, of that like public knowledge.
Just give me your answer choices.
Well, I can't do that just yet because I have another thing to read to you from this paper.
It's a whole paper with different articles?
Yeah, this is a whole ass paper.
How many more articles?
I have one more article, and then I have a advertisement that is just in theme with the time.
I mean, if it's in between World War I and II, then I'm going to assume it's somewhere from the 1920s to in between 1920 and 1950, probably.
Well, I'm just saying that's where people started to be like, that's when like the start of your scale should be. As opposed to your scale was 60s to 90s. I'm saying your scale should like start around like the 20s.
Yeah, I mean, like what I'm saying is that literally, like if you didn't say like that's where your scale should be, you could have just said like you should shift your scale back a little bit. I'd be like, okay, so like 40s to 90s.
Believe it or not, I do want this segment to be somewhat educational.
I really wish I had that to provide, but now, I don't have an educational brain. I have a magical brain.
I will not actually read this entire next article because it is largely irrelevant. I'll just summarize it. The reason why I wanted to share it is because of the advertisement that is embedded within the article. The article is going over Reverend John Jasper, who was a black preacher who gave a famous sermon where he had to tell his congregation, yes, the sun does move. His sermon thought that the sun was just a fucking stationary body in space. And, this is like Galileo type shit of like, no, the sun revolves around the earth, not the other way around. But then people took that to be like, oh, so the sun doesn't move at all. So he basically just gave a sermon. It's like, it's as spelled in here, the sun do move. And embedded within this, right underneath this story of this sadly passed preacher, directly underneath, and I will send this to you now. The new Pfeiffer cap. No opener needed. Pfeiffer beer. Pull to the right, pop, off comes the cap. Making new friends and keeping the old. What better time and place to advertise beer than underneath a memorial for a preacher? Thank you, Detroit. And the last thing that I will give you from this paper is something that is also just kind of a bit funny in retrospect. A Chevrolet 4-door master sedan, $495.
Oh my God.
And Halloween party, Tuesday, October 31st at the YMCA. And I will send this to you as well because this being how old the paper is, I don't know why, they used to like spell Halloween with an apostrophe between the two E's. And I will send this to you now. These are all pictures that we can put up later. All right, I will now give you your year options of when this paper was published. Was this 1939, 1947, or 1969?
Jeez.
Halloween.
Well, I mean, I would throw out 1939 immediately because you said that it was between World War I and II, and both of the other years are after World War II.
I said that's where your scale should start. I didn't say that
Well,
it ends around there. Just saying, don't put words in my mouth.
I'm just putting
I don't mean to sway your
what I
guess.
can out of my memory.
Is that your guess then, 1939?
Yeah, sure, that's my guess.
You are correct. This is the October 21st, 1939 edition of the Detroit Tribune, which ran from 1935 to 1966.
Awesome.
You are today's winner.
Yay.
And here's also the picture. I didn't want to send you this earlier because it has a bunch of names or a bunch of years that would have given away a bit more easily. But yeah, there's all the prices of the different cars of that year, all ranging from $235 to about $500. What a time.
What a time indeed.
I had to pick very carefully. This paper had some good like articles in here, but it also had some stuff that's like every time I do this segment, it's a little bit of like a landmine thing where it's like there's some stuff that might be fun, some stuff that might be historically important, and maybe like I want to go with the article that says extra pork chops. Maybe like literally in this same paper, there's an article that is titled extra pork chops, and there's an article titled South Carolina officials block Klan raid. I have to be very choosy about what I share from these.
I think it's funny that in the last 30 minutes of recording, we have added 7 graphics that need to be put up on the screen during this episode. Unless I am not supposed to put up these news things.
If you want to include these pictures, because the thing for the articles that I did not fully read, such as the one for Reverend John Jasper, if people do want to read that on their own, then they can pause and look at those.
Yes, because we have the video version.
Yes.
On Spotify and YouTube. You can watch our show, which is mostly just waiting for the pictures to pop up.
Or you can also just, because I give the full name and date of these papers and tell you that they're on the Library of Congress, you can also look up these papers yourself and find these articles within them.
Yeah, you could also put in some effort.
You may also find when I recite some of these articles that there is small amounts of information that I omit when they say a date in the article. So if you're a true fan of the facts, you know where to look.
Yeah, I would have no idea. I do remember doing a whole unit on newspapers in my media history something class I took like almost 2 years ago in college. We had a bunch of units on stuff like, like newspapers, propaganda, wartime media, TV, radio, stuff like that. Social media. One of the more interesting classes I took that actually had substance, which for some reason my classes in college are just hit or miss.
Of course, with me being homeschooled, one day that my grandma was like, we're going to do that kind of thing of like learning how to like, read the paper for information and like know about news. We only did that for one day, and the one day that we did it on, she's like, look at the paper and write down all the things you learn. The only thing in that news on that day was the story of football player Ray Rice beating his girlfriend.
Wow.
So I have like a 4th grade notebook that just has like a bunch of information of that article of Ray Rice, which is, great reading.
That's definitely something to show your kid.
This is what I used to learn in school.
It's definitely news. I didn't learn anything about that kind of stuff growing up. Anything like media-wise, I just kind of witnessed over time.
You know what I should start doing at the end of these historical columns? I should shorten them, have you guess the date, but then ask you afterwards what you remember from it, and if you remember anything well, you get an extra point.
That's not fair.
What do you remember from today's? What did you learn?
I learned that they used to sell cars for really cheap, and also that Halloween happens sometimes in 1939. And also that there was a reverend named John Jasper.
And the sun do move.
Yeah, that's about it. So my brain could soak up.
I mentioned it to Emmy before we started recording, but there was a paper that I wanted to do for today's episode that had the headline of Americans Thick in the Head, says Einstein. So I wanted to find that and have that for today's section, but I could not actually find that paper because the Library of Congress has no record of the Boston Post, and any website that claims to have record of the Boston Post is paywalled. So I have no way of actually verifying that article. The only snippets of it are just that headline that are screenshotted and put onto like Tumblr and Twitter. No other remnant of the paper.
That was like the first thing Mia said when we got on the call.
Yes, I was because I just spent like most of my morning looking for it.
It was like I came in to call this brain dead, and Mia was like, hey, I was like, yo, and Mia was like, I'm sad. Yeah. I was like, oh, here we go. It's gonna be a good day.
I've been inconvenienced, and you need to know about it.
Not because of that with Mia, but I was like, oh man, Mia's sad, and I have no brain capacity to lift her up. Fuck.
You see, this is one of those things that, like, my mom asks me what I want for Christmas, and it's very difficult to give her an answer because the things that I want cannot be bought. The things that I want to know are these fucking articles and if they're even real.
I don't know. I don't really have favorite things.
What I want for Christmas is being able to find the articles I'm searching for.
Yeah. I need to make content.
I want my microphone to stop fucking popping and crackling in OBS, and I want to be able to find the articles. And I want the articles that are already in the Library of Congress to not be half faded by the time you reach page 2.
Can you name the Articles of Rights from the Constitution?
No. I can name the articles of clothing of George Washington. Number 1, ascot. Number 2, coat.
Number 3, powdered wig.
Number 4, horse teeth.
Oh, Jesus. George Washington. I prefer LA Knight. If you've never seen that graphic, very funny.
LA Knight crossing the fucking, what is it, the Potomac, or is it a different river?
I don't fucking know. It's just that, like, George Washington, like with his, like...
George Washington parting the Red Sea.
Hand on his forehead and looking at the view ahead on a boat, standing, but it's LA Knight with the U.S. Championship. It's really funny. I can go ahead and put that graphic up on the screen now.
His name is George Washington. First President Washington.
I'm gonna have to find a better way to do this time code shit.
I like the way that Google, like, automatically, when they do the people also ask section with all the drop downs, the phrasing, what did George Washington do on the Potomac River? As if he's gonna do anything other than cross it. He had fucking nasty, sloppy sex in the middle of the fucking, what is that war called? War of Independence. He had nasty, sloppy Potomac sex.
The War of Independence, wasn't it called something else?
The Revolutionary War.
Is that what it was called?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, that one.
He crossed the Delaware. Was there a different battle and war before the fucking War of Independence? War of 1776. No, that was American Revolutionary War. It ended in 1783, started in 1775. So I was right. American Revolutionary War. You don't build a barn, dumbass. You buy one. What do you think this is? 1785?
I am 1776.
I'm a liberal. Oh, in terms of some real nice good news, Alex Jones has been forced by the courts to liquidate all of his assets to pay off millions and millions of dollars to the victims of Sandy Hook, who he spread horrible rumors and lies about that harmed the families. And now he's being forced to liquidate everything to pay said families because he's a fucking loser.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck Alex Jones.
He's like the cheese from, like, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
More like diarrhea of a wimpy kid.
Hold on. That's so funny.
Hold on. Preparing to laugh. Haha. Me when I run out of things to talk about in an episode.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking, I wish I had a segment for this week. I don't, but it's because I haven't had time because we're about to do this trip, which I guess we could talk about a little bit. We haven't really talked about the trip itself. We'll talk about some things we will have done by the time the next episode gets recorded and stuff, but by the time you guys see this episode 36, Mia will have been here for like 2 days, and by the time you guys see the next episode 37, she will have been gone for like 3.
And wouldn't you know it, even when I'm there in person, we're still going to have trouble scheduling of recording these episodes.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the scheduling, it's like the equipment. We don't have a plan for recording equipment yet, although I've thought of some ideas, which I will bring up later.
I am not traveling with my microphone, and that makes things about 3 times worse.
That's what I know, but I have some ideas. So we'll see how those go. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. It stresses me out to think back, like, how quickly all this happened. And also how quickly all that time passed somehow.
It does feel like it was just a far-flung thing in the future for, like almost 2 months. It was just like, so it's so far in the future, I'm not going to think about it. And now it's 2 days away.
Yeah, I was like I was forced to think about a bunch of stuff for October. And now October's here, so I'm like, cool, well, I guess I got to do all that shit I've been worrying about since July. But whatever. I mean, that's just what it is. This trip is going to be dope, so that's going to be cool. And I am excited about that. Plus, you get to hear how nightmarish my cats are while they sprint around the house at night.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun.
My family has been asking me a lot more in the past few days because they know that my trip is coming up in a couple days. So they've been asking me, it's like, oh, what are all the things you're going to do in Georgia? You got your Bad Blood, but what else are you going to do? It's like, we're going to fucking hang out and be cool. And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have any more specific plan answers. We're gonna fucking hang out and be chill.
What up, Mom? We're gonna kind of. I have some mild outlines of plans here and there, and then like there's Bad Blood. Like that's
I have the concepts of a plan. That's topical.
I have some plans that are pretty set and determined, but that's all like to be discussed. For how much you would be like, aren't you guys recording this like 2 days? Oh, I've been talking about the 30th as if it's Sunday. I forgot to say we're recording this on Monday the 30th, and I forgot I was talking about it like it was Sunday. Anyway, yeah, we're recording this today.
We were gonna record it yesterday, but I went baseball.
The 30th. Yes, Mia was at the baseball game. And so what I was gonna say is that you would think with like how close the trip is that we have planned more and thought about it more, and we absolutely have not. Have you? I mean, this is just no judgment, a curious question. Have you packed anything yet?
Oh, I've done a test pack of all my stuff.
Okay.
So like I have like I'm gonna do laundry like the night before, and then it'll all just be nice, clean clothes ready to go. But yeah, I have everything. I bought 2 new pairs of jeans for specifically this trip. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have to be stretching the same pair of jeans for 7 days.
When you get here, you're welcome to wash you're welcome to wash your underwear in my mouth.
Wash your ass. Yeah, the way that I've been describing plans for this trip to my family when they ask is that it's like, we don't have anything besides Bad Blood. We don't have anything scheduled to the day that we're going to do. We just know that there's a bunch of stuff that we say would be a cool, fun thing for us to do, and we'll just do them based off of vibes. But we don't have anything scheduled. We just have like, oh, this would be fun to do this, and we're probably going to do this, and those are just going to happen when they happen. But it's not like scheduled.
Right. Like playing video games is a huge part of what I want to do, because I recently, and I hate saying I recently rearranged my room because I feel like it's just a stereotype at this point, but I don't
it's been a while
like
since
that
you've
anymore.
done it.
Yeah, I don't do it like I used to anymore, especially in 2023, but I just moved it recently because of this trip. I wanted to make room for stuff, and I also wanted to make like the most living room-esque setup I could up here so that we can play games and stuff. I have not tested if like I can hook up 2 controllers at the same time and play like Steam games / emulator games, but I think that I can.
Oh yeah.
So there's like stuff involved in that. I also would like enjoy recording gaming content. I just don't know what we would do and how that would go, since it's not like part of the plan yet.
I had an idea for a piece of content to do that you have yet to confirm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do you want to talk about it, or?
I mean, I don't know if I want to like
secret?
I don't want to like spoil any surprise stuff, but I mean, if we just feel like, hey, let's like record a thing or stream a thing, then we can just like do that.
I thought it would be fun to do like a long extended gaming stream with like segments that we play certain games while we're there on the like closing shift YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought that would be fun. I also would like to potentially make a YouTube video for my channel out of this trip, or at least a Bad Blood part of it. Maybe. But I'm also working on setting up a in-person video version of the podcast. That is, of course, we haven't really like confirmed that we're both in on that. But if you're cool with that,
of course. I mean, that's I think we've already confirmed doing in-person podcast.
Yeah. I have a plan somewhat for that also. Another outline, if you will.
I think I've mentioned that my plan for recording anything and like, doing any sort of memory capturing of the trip is mostly going to be done through a little pink digital camera that is actually it's decent enough at recording stuff and taking pictures.
I forgot, but you did say that.
So any pictures or videos of the trip are not going to be like shareable from my side of things unless I do take a few things on my phone. Most of it is going to be on an SD card that I will not be able to access and get things off of until I get back home.
Yeah, which is fine because it's your things to do with. I mean, like I'm gonna record as much as I can on my phone, and I'm gonna. I feel like my train of thought keeps going through like tunnels, and that's when I lose my signal. I'm trying to keep myself focused. Damn it! Now I'm thinking about trains and tunnels. Fuck! What was I saying?
I don't even know.
Oh yeah. I did want to make like a trip vlog for my channel. I'm not sure how that's gonna. I'm not really like a huge vlog person, but I do think it would be cool to do like more than just the podcast.
Well, you can do like Lorde
in so
her song Supercut, where in my head I play a supercut of us, all the magic we gave up, all the love we had and lost.
well,
Just take all these little videos and make a little supercut. In your car, the radio up. In your car, the radio up.
I might do something like that. I don't know.
Speaking of supercut
I may
stuff,
do a little vlog. If I did do a little vlog, I would make sure it was edited well and put on my channel because I think it'd be fun.
I found a flash drive the other day when I was just doing some cleaning. I found a flash drive that I had dumped some old files on that are, I think it's from 2017, some of this stuff on here, like the winter of 2017. I did a Let's Play of Outlast, but I did 3 episodes of it, and I still have like those full episodes of it here from 7 years ago on this flash drive, and I just found that, and I thought, you know, for how shit these are, because I was even worse then about, like, I had to fill every second of silence, even if that was just saying, so it's, like, kind of annoying, but I found, it's like, you know what? This isn't, like, the worst thing. It might be kind of fun to, like, turn this into, like, a little supercut of, like, my 2017 content, which I wish I had more of. I know I had, like, I made so much stuff so many years ago that is just ultimately gone now. It's kind of sad.
There's a lot of old content of me out there you can find if you really go out and look for it, but don't, because none of it's good. Like, there's a couple YouTube channels and a couple podcasts out there you can find that are mine, but none of them are good.
What's funny about all my old stuff is that going and, like, listening to myself from, like, 2017, I still have the same voice that I had then, except deeper. I still, like, you can tell it's me. Same vocal inflection, same everything. And I still make the same types of jokes that I did then, but I am much better spoken now. Back then, I did not have this same, like, constantly speaking at a projected volume that I do now. I was more nasally then, I suppose, which is hard to imagine.
My commentary used to fucking suck. I mean, that's the thing. My voice used to be deeper, too. Like, I have actually feminized my voice. My voice has been getting more feminine just over these weeks of HRT, but it's been getting feminine over the last, like, 4 years. It's turned, I mean, like... And if you're like, you still have a deep voice, bro, hashtag you're a man, then go watch, like, clips of me from 2020. I promise you'll be like, wait, holy shit, that difference is, like, so, like, black and white. It's crazy. Like, there's a particular couple clips from me playing this one, like, very, like, obscure playthrough where me and Boomer played Super Mario 3D World on his channel. We've never done anything like that before or since, where we just one-on-one played a cooperative game, which is also something I'd like to play with you potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have that.
I love 3D World.
That's something I want to do with you is line that shit up. Or come up with, like, a list of games we would play. But yeah, we did that. And if you listen to my voice in those clips on Boomer's channel, it sounds quite a bit deeper.
It's something that I thought about, but it's something that it would greatly increase the stress of travel and make it a lot more difficult for all my package. My package, my luggage.
My package.
I was considering bringing my Wii U with me, just for the sake of, I know that that's a thing that you've talked about before, the Wii U.
Right, but I have Mario 3D World on the Switch, and I don't think I'd bring a game console anywhere unless it was my Switch and my carry-on.
To be fair, my Wii U is kind of a piece of shit at this point. The disc reader, the Wii U has, like, a bad situation where it's like the disc reader does sort of fall apart after a few years, so it can't really, like, read discs, you know, like a console's supposed to.
I miss when consoles used to read discs.
Back in my day, the game was the game.
Why'd you become Drew McIntyre for a second there?
It's a Vine Sauce Vinny bit that I love that is like talking about, like, back in my day of games. It's like, we used to live in a rolled up newspaper on the side of a road and we loved it. We were happy. Back when we played real games like Barnaby's Blumpkin and Dayru's Findle. It's one of my favorite Vinny bits, and it just, after so many years, like probably like 6 or 7 years of that bit being dead, it just came back. It's like, yes, I love the Dayru's Findle bit. Bartleby's Bumpkin.
If Mia kidnapped people, she'd kidnap them and, like, claw their eyes open and make them watch Vine Sauce.
I would. I'd make you watch Vine Sauce, listen to Red Vox.
My God.
And you'll have to watch Vine Sauce, listen to Red Vox, and play Dark Souls 3 at the same time, and only then will you go free.
And if you do it all, I'll let you suck my dick.
Let you suck my dick. That's an old Game Grumps bit.
Yes, it is. I've been personally, as a Game Grumps fan, enjoying their Monopoly bits. Like, the recent one I've been really enjoying that I just, like, thought back to right now. I was thinking about it, and it was like Dan being like, I hate you, Aaron, and he got him Aaron was playing for both of them, so he rolled in and got Dan on income tax, and then he rolled income tax too, and Aaron was like, "Oh my god, I got fucking income tax! Are you kidding me?" That's why I wish we could just record a bunch of videos for Big Wow Big and just upload them whenever we want, and we can. It's just I know that's the lack of consistency. I actually really still want to go back and edit all the videos I never put out, and I'd have to figure out how to edit them again because I don't quite have the same editing method for the episodes the way I used to edit them. I think I could get it back if I wanted to, or I might have it. Let me see if I still have that. No, I don't still have that software, but I could probably get it back if I wanted to, but it's just not a good software. It's like a version of Filmora that's supposed to be more along the lines of Adobe, but it doesn't have any of the cool features that Wondershare Filmora has. So I'd have to learn how to edit an episode in there, which is obviously not that much different because it's still a video timeline and stuff. The thing about the other editing software was I could export multiple videos at a time, which was great. Cannot do that in this other software, but it's great. It's how I edited the podcast before. I actually found a great way to edit the podcast in it, which was that you can make a subsection in the timeline of content and then click it and go and edit in that timeline, and it doesn't affect everything outside of it.
That's what we call in Premiere a nest.
It's basically that, yeah.
Other choice subsequence.
Or a sack. And inside of it are testicles.
Speaking of video stuff, I have been recording for the past couple of days, trying to get some stuff since I have been feeling a little bit better. Not enough that I feel like I could do an entire stream without, doing full talking for that whole time. But I can do a 2-hour session of doing pre-records that I'm going to have scheduled to go up on my YouTube VOD channel while I am away. I did the first installation of an Elden Ring randomizer on stream the other day because I was like, it's been a fucking week and I haven't streamed and I don't want to do 2 entire weeks of no content. So I've been continuing that Elden Ring randomizer in pre-recorded videos that are going to go out while I am in Georgia. They're going to be scheduled for that. And while recording those, doing it yesterday, in the middle of recording, my power went out for the 3rd time this week. We had a massive heat wave a couple days ago that knocked out the power for a little bit. And of course, that's a thing that is not really supposed to happen most of the time. And there hasn't been an outage out here in 1,000 days. But we had a outage from the heat wave that then got fixed within 40, 50 minutes. And then there was a second outage later in the day that lasted for a very similar amount of time. And I thought after that, it's okay, they got it fixed. They got it figured out. It's all good. But then, nope. Next day, that being yesterday, while I'm in the middle of recording one of these pre-records, power just goes out. And thankfully, I recorded an MKV, which means that the file was not corrupted and I could just pick back up where I was and I could just stitch the two together. No loss in information. That's the beauty of MKV. But that's been a fun thing here, just been losing power randomly. And on top of that, some fun of having lost power is that one of the resident dumbasses in my household decided, hey, since the power's out and it's the evening, I'm gonna use candle for light, which is just a normal thing. Just just light up a candle and just use that for a nice light source while waiting for the power to come back on. But what this dumbass decided to do was be a funny guy and tried to, I suppose, cook a piece of toast or something else over the candle, and I think set it on fire and set off every fucking smoke alarm in the house. And the whole house smelt like fucking burnt toast. And everybody was in a panic.
That's good.
Because they didn't want to own up to having set a piece of toast on fire with a fucking candle because the power went out.
He burned my shake.
Yeah. So everybody's fucking panicking oh my God, is there an actual fire in the house? But nope, just one of the very intelligent people I live with having a bit of fun for themselves and panicking everybody else by filling the house with smoke.
You should have just recorded that. That's content.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Be nice to be out of this household for a week.
Yeah, understandable. And it'll be okay to be in this one. I do think hypothetically, just I know we're going a little long, but that's okay. I'll probably be taking on this episode as well since I will be at my house more than you will be at yours this week.
No, I haven't been able to do shit for a week. I'm gonna get this shit edited immediately.
Okay.
I'm jonesing for content.
Never mind. I was gonna say though, hypothetically, I was thinking earlier to myself, I was like, I feel like I could do Big Wow Big if we brought back like the 15 to 20 minute episode format. If they were like quicker to get through, then I feel like I could like actually edit each one, since I have to export them individually anyway. And if I came up with a quick way to do it, I kind of found a quicker way to like skim through the podcast without having to like make it seem like I didn't care to edit, but also cutting out noises that didn't need to be there. So if I could find a way to do that and our episodes weren't like 30 to 40 minutes, it'd be a lot easier. That's a whole conversation, which is cool.
Can we not do this in front of the kids?
We'll probably have that conversation one day. No, I want the kids to know what we're thinking. Because the kids are always like, where's new Big Wow Big videos?
Does Big Wow Big not love me anymore?
Stop commenting that. It's so annoying. No, I'm kidding.
Our number one Big Wow Big fan, that being Owen.
True.
That was so funny. No shame to Owen, but it was so funny at the end of the episode we did with him where he shouted out Big Wow Big.
Yeah. He was like, go watch Big Wow Big. And we laughed because, silly self-promo, but also he promoted our channel we're not using
promote
right now.
Our dead show.
Yeah.
It is real. It's now a treasured moment of mine. I think about it and I laugh.
If ever we were to bring it back, we could be like, Owen, we're doing this for you. And you only.
Replace our intro song with Catnip.
Welcome back to Big Wow Owen. Yeah, we could. Just be like, you guys mind if we use your music? But no, we'll keep our intro song for Big Wow Big was made in GarageBand on my phone, but it's like a treasured thing. It's like signature for Big Wow Big. I also want to bring Big Wow Big back at some point because I made a whole Big Wow Big versus Wow intro, and I didn't get to use it once. I think I do have some versus episodes on my end that I need to edit, so I'll use it on those.
It will never not make me sad. The fact that we did a whole episode where we played pool against each other, doing, what is it, like Pools 3D and Poolians. We did a whole episode of that where I had this running bit throughout the whole thing of the tiger. And it's just a really stupid bit that I kept going. And now it's a bit that I love and I think about and I'm like, yeah, the tiger. But it never saw the light of day and it never makes sense when I want to reference it. But it's still one of my favorite bits I've ever done for how stupid it is.
Did it not make the light of day because it's on my end?
Possibly.
That makes sense. Most things that ended up being bad or didn't see the light of day are my fault. Let me see if I can find it.
The Tiger would like to formally thank you for joining us for this episode 36 of Closing Shift. If you would like to see more Closing Shift, make sure to follow or subscribe on your preferred streaming platform.
And if you want to watch the show visually and see the graphics we put up on screen during the show, go subscribe and watch on YouTube or follow us on Spotify and watch there.
And make sure to support us on Ko-fi if you want to give us money so it's easier to do this show while balancing our own personal lives.
And as you go off and have a nice Friday, go fuck yourself.
Signed, The Tiger.